Good morning, Lancaster. Just in, the UCU may end its industrial action on Thursday.
College review is to be debated by students in coming months.
Rents have risen yet again for campus accommodation.
The free education demo continues without NUS.
We'll also be discussing international students and immigration policy.
And finally, jailbreak ended this Sunday in Piedmont.
Good morning, Lancaster. It's 11 o'clock on Wednesday, the 19th of November, and we're here inside the LA1 TV studio.
Good morning, I'm Jessica Beard.
And I'm Alexander Parmley. We've got a lot of great stories today.
But first, just before we launch into the news, we'd like to correct something that was said last week. We previously stated that NUS had withdrawn its support from the UCU marking boycott. They actually withdrew their support from the free education demo.
And now on to today's top headlines. The Universities and Colleges Union, UCU, has entered into negotiations with pension authorities over changes to the academic pension scheme. UCU members at Lancaster and 68 other universities around the country are striking over the changes by refusing to mark the exams and coursework of their students indefinitely. Under the proposed changes, some lecturers and tutors could lose tens of thousands of pounds in their retirement as the pensions authorities try to resolve the system's £10 billion deficit. UCU is today consulting its members on suspending the industrial action until January, but insists that the universities do not cut protesters' pay in the meantime.
In other news, the college system at Lancaster is to come under scrutiny in an ongoing review by university management. A panel of 9 members of the university, including 2 LUSU representatives, are to debate the importance of the colleges to Lancaster University over 2 days and report their findings to senior management. In the lead up to the review, both LUSU and university management have conducted surveys to find out whether the collegiate system is popular among students and staff respectively. LUSU also plans to raise the review during the general meeting on Thursday.
We'll also have Scan's own Daniel Snape on to talk to us about the news in just a moment.
But first, let's go over to Justin with the weather.
So let's have a look at the weather for the rest of the week. Wednesday, Edinburgh's looking sort of with heavy rain but a bit of sun, so sunny spells in between, not so nice for Scotland. In Belfast it's looking a bit cloudy, typical November weather, whereas in Lancaster we have sunny spells, so that's fortunate for us. Down in Birmingham, Cardiff and London it's looking a bit cloudy as well, so general cloud over down the south and Midlands, so unfortunate to those who are going to the demo in London today. Make sure you wear plenty and don't get the sniffles like me. And on Thursday, up in Scotland actually it's looking sunny with a bit of sun, sunny spells, still cloudy though. Belfast is looking cloudy. We're unfortunately not getting the sun in Lancaster on Thursday. Heavy clouds are to be expected in Birmingham, and down in Cardiff and London, things are still looking a bit cloudy. And on Friday, heavy rain is to be expected in Belfast, but generally around Scotland, England and Wales, everything's a bit cloudy, so as you can see. So make sure you wear plenty this week. It's going to get cold, and have a very good week.
We're now joined by Daniel Snape, the Scan News editor. Daniel, thanks for joining us.
Morning.
Let's talk about the college review. Why are people so concerned by the review?
It's mostly to do with the composition of the panel that's actually doing the review. There are only 2 students, the president of LUSU, Laura Clayson, and the vice president for Union Development, Damon Fairley. On top of that, there's only one college principal, Frank Waring, from Fylde, and it seems that the rest of the review panel consists mainly of people hired by senior management. So we've got one provost, one pro-chancellor, one deputy pro-chancellor. These are all people who report directly to the VC, the vice-chancellor. So there are concerns that there won't be the proper amount of representation.
And they're the only ones that get a say then? in the college review.
Exactly. They're the only ones on the 9-member panel who actually get to make the recommendations to the VC, and these recommendations could have big implications for the collegiate system.
Yeah, of course. I mean, how can we get a more representative system in this? How could it be changed?
One thing they could do is take into account the 2 surveys that are going on right now. There's one being run by LUSU. It's still open. Lots of students can do it online. It's very straightforward. It's just 4 or 5 questions, I think. The other one was being run by university management itself, and they got hundreds of replies from staff around the university. And I think if the council were to just look at the surveys, they could add a bit of legitimacy and a bit of representation to the things they're saying.
How important is the collegiate system to Lancaster University?
It's hard to say. Some students do claim they came here just for the college system. They like the camaraderie of it.
Yeah.
It encourages sports competition, a bit of friendly competition between the colleges. It gives you something to do if you want to join the JCR, which is always good for your CV. College identity, though, isn't a very stable thing. I mean, when the university was founded in 1964, Bowland College used to be considered the hippie college, and Lonsdale used to be for conservative rugby players. Clearly, the identities have changed ever so slightly now. Most people just go to Bowland Bar anyway. We've got more colleges with their own different identities, and so if they're so slightly unstable, it does beg the question, does it count that much?
Yeah, why has this been raised now? Do we know?
It depends on what you think university management is trying to get out of this. There are suspicions that university management wants to introduce a slightly academic angle to the colleges. I'm not sure exactly how they think that would look when it works out in the end. Some of them have been saying they want more academics in the colleges, more academics applying to become principals, because so far only one of the principals of the colleges is actually a lecturer. And Laura Clayson may have hinted that there are these sorts of changes to come when she said we have to engage in the college review, otherwise it's just going to go ahead anyway, which makes you wonder, what is the motive behind it? And I'm afraid we're not sure.
So what is on the spectrum? What are the kind of changes that could occur?
Really, the panel has the power to make all sorts of recommendations, legitimate recommendations to the VC. The VC can use those in turn to make whatever changes are necessary. There's going to be a report given to the VC at the very end, but we're not going to know exactly what sort of angle the college review is going to try to take until Frank Waring completes what's known as the self-evaluation, where all 9 members of the panel fire questions at each other to figure out where they all stand, and then you get an idea of the motive behind it.
I think it's something people have to follow very closely. We'll be talking in a moment about the accommodation prices, but first we'll go back to the news.
Accommodation prices have risen for another year, as students are being asked to consider living arrangements for 2015 and 16. Because much of the campus accommodation is managed by service company UPP, the university is obliged to raise rents when UPP does. LUSU President Laura Clayson has said that the union is aiming to bring these prices in line with the maintenance loan given to low-income students. But many students believe that the maintenance loan is not enough. If Bowland Annex closed for refurbishment for the first time in the university's history, there would be no accommodation options on campus charging rent below £100.
And students' unions around the country are preparing to take part in demonstrations against tuition fees and government austerity. The free education demo is scheduled to take place today in London, but may no longer have enough participants to become the largest student demo in 2 years, as was predicted. The news comes after the president of the National Union of Students, Tony Pearce, withdrew from the demonstration for reasons of health and safety. Despite the absence of the NUS, many students' unions, including LUSU, are going ahead with the march. The National Campaign Against Fees and Cuts has warned that the protest may become even more dangerous in the NUS's absence.
Several public figures have come out against government immigration policy on the grounds that it is harming relations with international students. Conservative politicians Michael Heseltine and Mark Field have now joined the likes of Keith Vaz and Simon Walker, head of the Institute of Directors, in condemning the coalition's tight visa controls and inclusion of overseas students in net migration statistics. Students now come under the government's policy of reducing net migration to 100,000, but the Minister for Immigration and Security says that the policy could protect international students from higher education scams.
And Friday saw the start of Lancaster's jailbreak competition, with over 40 teams fighting to get as far away from Lancaster as they can in 36 hours without spending a penny. This year's competition ended 1,300 kilometres away in Piedmont in northern Italy and raised £8,500 for Enactus.
So let's talk about these accommodation prices.
Yeah, that's
Are accommodation prices as bad as students tend to think?
well, students certainly think they're bad. I mean, Scan runs a regular Vox Pop Answers from Alex Square, and we ask students, do you think accommodation is reasonable on campus right now? Not a single one of the students had anything nice to say about the prices. They all think it's ridiculous. They're all fairly certain that other universities don't charge this much, and they're all very certain that accommodation off campus is cheaper. And rents have risen, it has to be said, above inflation year on year. Exactly why, that remains to be seen.
I mean, it's true, but the level and quality of accommodation here at Lancaster is renowned for
Yes.
being quite good.
Yeah.
So does it not then reflect the prices that are being set?
The quality on campus is exceptional. I mean, UPP manage about 2/3 of the accommodation. The ones they built most recently have won awards for their security and environmentalism. And Lancaster University still holds, in the National Housing Student Survey, best halls and, maybe surprisingly, best value for money. Best halls being for the third year running. So clearly there is quality with this high price.
Aside from the quality that UPP brings to our accommodation, is there an upside to the contract Lancaster has with UPP?
Yeah, the thing is, it was established in 2003 that UPP would take over 2/3 of the university's accommodation for 48 years. Now, this is a very long-term thinking strategy here. If we want the university to be thinking into the future, this is definitely what they're doing. In 2008, it was renegotiated slightly so that UPP could charge 1.5% above inflation on their rents. Now, because UPP is doing it by law, by the contract they signed, the university has to do exactly the same. That's why rents are increasing. But
Is that
why?
the sole reason that the rents are increasing?
No, you see, there's another reason behind it.
Yes.
Why would the university allow that to happen? And I can tell you why. It's because of building work. The university has been permanently under construction since 1964, we all know that, and all the refurbishments being done on campus are going to UPP. For UPP to pay for it, they have to increase rents. And so, in the long run, we're paying for the higher quality of accommodation of future students, effectively.
Surely that's not a terrible thing. What do you think personally?
I think it's an excellent idea, actually.
Yeah.
I like long-run thinking. I think we can take a small hit in the short term. I mean, the recession's almost over. Student fees are only going to increase, so we might as well bear the burden if the future generations can't.
Can students get involved and have their say in any way?
There's always the National Student Housing Survey. I don't know how many students here really know about it or how to participate in it, but it seems it would take a lot to dent Lancaster's reputation in that. We've had best halls for 3 years running, and it doesn't seem students will be able to hold some sort of coup to knock us out of first position. So I can't imagine students can really hold that kind of protest if they think they need to.
Okay.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, Daniel.
Thank you.
Thank you. With the next set of LUSU elections coming up next week, we've got a video of some of the existing officers telling us why you should run to be one of LUSU's JCR or cross-campus officers.
Hi, I'm Damon. JCR, CCO and NUS delegate nominations are now open. Here's what our current officers have to say about why you should run.
I ran for JCR because I really wanted to give something back to the college. It's a great thing to do and I thoroughly recommend it.
I ran for sports division because I've always enjoyed sport and wanted to get more involved in the organisation of it. I've gained many CV skills and many things to say in interviews.
I ran for JCR because I'm passionate about students and I really wanted to make a difference. I had a brilliant time on JCR. I would encourage anyone thinking about running to just do so.
I ran for Social Secretary of Ball and JCR because I wanted to get more involved with the college. Because I had a really great experience of college life in my first term. I really wanted to give that back and make sure that the college socials are really good. But I also wanted to be involved with the decision making within the college and within LUSU.
So I ran for JCR because I wanted to get more involved with college life. I'm really passionate about my college, so I wanted to get involved with organising events, doing welfare campaigns, And the big reason why I ran to be president this year was to organise Intro Week, which was great fun, met loads of cool people, and it's added loads of skills to my CV, and it's just been really, really great fun.
For any more information about the elections, please visit LUSU's website.
This weekend was a very exciting one for many students taking part in Jailbreak. The 36-hour-long competition set a challenge to the competitors of getting as far away from Lancaster as possible without paying for travel.
It was indeed a challenge, but many of the teams did extremely well, with almost half leaving the country.
We'll be joined by the winning team, but first here are some of the highlights from the weekend.
So we're on our way.
We are. I'm a bit worried. There's so much to carry.
We do have a lot. We're going to have to order this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So basically, what it has resorted to is Jess standing out in the middle of the road. Buses have got a lift. Come on. So we've now got our first lift with Sophie and Georgie. Say hi, guys. Hi. We are on our way to Manchester because Georgie fancied a bit of late night shopping and needed an in-car charger. So we are going to get off.
Very excited.
Manchester and see how it goes from there.
We're at the Trafford Centre and we're going to try and go to a petrol station to get another lift further south.
Come on, be a nice Manchester person and give us a lift. Hello, this is our update.
We're back here. We've done a huge circle.
We've been walking for about an hour and 20 minutes and we have just done one extraordinary circle around Manchester. The sights were great, but we're pretty much back at Asda where we got dropped off an hour and 25 minutes ago, hour and a half ago, something like that.
Not looking great, is it?
Finally, after 3 hours in Manchester, we've gone and lift with, is it Emily? Emily. And we are heading to Staffordshire, which is just above Birmingham. We've just bumped into the guy we saw in Manchester and 2 more people from Jailbreak in the middle of nowhere. Stafford? Kiel.
Is it looking
We're stuck
good?
in Kiel, and we have been stuck in Kiel for probably... what time did you text? Made it to Kiel services just off the M6. We've been here for 2 hours and 10 minutes. We've checked into it. So it's 9:24 AM. We got in last night at 3:15 to a hotel because we got stuck in Kiel, and this guy was basically driving us around all of Stoke trying to find a hotel that had rooms available at 3:15. So finally we have arrived at the Port of Dover ferry terminal. As you can see, White Cliffs of Dover are directly above us, and we're going to very soon be trying to hitch a lift into Calais.
We're joined by the winners of Jailbreak, Kier and Evie. So guys, how far did you make it?
Our final destination was a little town called Cuneo in Italy. It was about 50 kilometres south of Turin.
Wow.
And that's as far as we made it, yeah.
Can you run through how you made it all the way down there?
Well, the very start was the misguided notion that we could get 2 of us on a bike and cycle into town.
That did not end well.
Yeah, about 5 seconds of kind of wobbling and almost crashing. We kind of sacked that off and just walked around campus. And then, yeah, we finally got a lift from a nice Polish man who just took us into the train station.
Okay.
Which was, I think, when a lot of the Jailbreak people went wrong, because they all went in kind of like all guns blazing, big costumes on, like balloons, all going up to the ticket inspectors and saying like, hey, can we get free tickets? And we kind of wised up and hung outside for like half an hour.
Went incognito and just covered up all the Jailbreak stuff and just winged it on the train, and luckily we didn't get checked. So all the way down to London.
Yeah.
All the way to London?
Yep.
Well, actually,
wow.
a nice LUSU woman actually agreed to pay for our ticket half the way, which is very good of her.
That is really nice.
And from there, we used some of the money that we made on the way to buy like a cheap ticket onto a train. And yeah, you just got to black
That
up with
must
the ticket
have,
inspectors and hope they're in a good mood.
fast-tracked you right down to London, because I know
Exactly.
we were stuck. We got stuck in Manchester for hours. We got down there straight away, got a car going all the way to Trafford Centre, and then got taken into near Oxford Road and just stuck walking around for about 2 hours and a half, all night basically, which is where you guys all down to London straight there.
Yeah, once you get in the cities, it's pretty hard to get out. You've got to stick to the motorway.
Exactly. That's what we realised
Yeah.
after doing it. So then, where did you go after that?
We got to Dover about 3 o'clock in the morning, and we kind of just walked about. We put our thumbs out on the side of the road for a while, and then we asked this guy from Romania if we could get in his car because he was going on, and he was like, "No, sorry, I'm not taking you."
Yeah.
But I think he saw us just standing outside at like 3 in the morning,
I think he felt sorry for us.
Yeah, wearing nowhere near enough clothes, and just trying to get cars and not getting anything. So he was just like, "Hey, just come in."
Oh, that's nice.
And he drove us all the way to Brussels after the ferry, so that was so lucky. Otherwise, we would have been stuck in Calais for a
Up
long
to Brussels. So how did you then get back down after that?
He just dropped us at a service station on the
Yeah.
motorway going south.
But I mean, down through France.
Yeah,
then.
down through
How
France,
did
through
that-
Luxembourg. Once you get on the motorway in these kind of European countries, you just keep bombing forward.
Very fast, yeah.
You can make a lot of distance up. It was mostly kind of like long distance business travellers. They were the ones going a long way. Like, I met this guy called Attila who was driving like 11 hours from a voluntary software conference for his job. So
Okay. And then, so from Brussels, where did you go then? What was the next place?
Luxembourg. We made it to Luxembourg after that. A really nice couple picked us up in Brussels and bought us breakfast, and then drove us all the way to Luxembourg. We basically just slept in everyone's car. We were really poor company, like we were just asleep. And from Luxembourg, then we met Attila, and he drove us like 6 hours, was it, to Switzerland?
Okay.
Yeah.
What part of Switzerland did you make it to?
Lake Geneva.
Did you?
Oh, it was very...
That's where I'm from. I was trying to get there. It was my aim, and we got nowhere near.
It would have been very beautiful if it wasn't pouring with rain and pitch black.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. We didn't even get to see any of these beautiful
Yeah.
places that we went to. It was just all the motorway and just road.
I'm so jealous that you made it back. And then from there, then, it's quite close to go down to Italy, isn't it?
Yeah, we went, well actually probably the highlights when we got a lift
Oh, yeah.
with these two Italian guys across the Alps.
And
So we
then-
went proper
yeah.
up in the mountains.
We made them stop and so we could get out and have a selfie in the snow. It was amazing.
Oh, was it snowing?
We just
Yeah.
frolicked about in the like, proper thick snow.
It was gorgeous.
And then-
it was the best part.
Yeah. And then we got down to, Turin, and that's basically where we got stuck because it was raining so hard for a lot of it. Basically, the roads south to the main cities were closed off.
Yeah.
So we were just stuck, like, wandering around these service stations at 3 in the morning, just getting nowhere. And eventually we just slept in a train station,
That
like
was
completely rough in a sleeping bag,
That
like
was the
literally
worst
among
part.
homeless people.
Yeah, we looked genuinely like homeless people, and that's why people just left us because we just looked like they're
You
homeless.
say you got stuck, but it's pretty far to get stuck.
Yeah.
It's not like it's in England.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Yeah, it was very exciting.
So did you guys get a prize for winning?
We will do.
We will do. We don't know what it is yet, but
It's a mystery.
yeah.
that's a bit exciting.
I
And how
know.
did you get back then, from all the way down in Italy?
We thought about hitchhiking or getting a train or whatever, but my mum and dad were already so worried about us that they just paid for our tickets from Turin
nice.
to London. So yeah, that's so lucky. Yeah.
So fast trip
Yeah,
back.
fast
Took
track
ages
back.
to get down there, and then
Yeah.
quickly back up. Was it worth it? Did you enjoy the whole experience?
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah, it was amazing. I was so nervous to begin with, but it was so good.
You'd
I
do it
loved
again then?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We didn't even get sick of each other the entire
Surprisingly,
time.
surprisingly.
Amazingly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That just about rounds up our show for today.
And we'll be back next week at the same time for more.
And we'll have more news for you then.
For now, have a nice afternoon and rest of the week.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to catch you on LA1 TV.
Bye.